Lawrence May, you're Director of SAMS, and we're here today on SAMS opening day for 2009. What is SAMS? I know it's the Scottish Association of Marine Sciences. Is that only SAMS, or are there other places who are part of SAMS outside Dunstaffnage?
SAMS is a membership organisation. It has something like 700 members in Scotland, but it's also Scotland's foremost marine research institute. It's one of the oldest associations of its kind in the world. So it was set up initially as an institution, as a laboratory in 1884 in Granton Reservoir near Edinburgh, moved to Great Cumbria, to Millport, came here in the early 1960s and has since flourished and grown every day from strength to strength, become more diverse, more deeply embedded in global issues of importance about the oceans. And here we are today with a very strong world-famous institution on the west coast of Scotland, and incidentally one of the largest employers in Argyll.
How many people do you employ?
We have a staff of around 150 at this time, and we are currently actually recruiting more staff, which is kind of bucking the global trend at the moment.
We're talking to Jeremy Wilkinson, who's leader of the sea ice team at Dunstaffnage. Jeremy, how long have you been doing this work?
I've been working on the sea ice post in the Arctic and the Antarctic probably about 15 years now.
Why did you start?
Oh, that's a long story, because originally I'm from Australia.
Not from shrinking jeans and a cold bath.
Yeah. No, it actually, my I guess aspirations to work in the polar regions really started off as at the end of my primary school, when I read a book about Captain Scott to the trip to the South Pole, and that really excited me. And from then I've always wanted to work in these regions, and I just studied through university and school, and it happened, I guess.
It's interesting that actually was the trigger. And what you're doing now is, in how many months' time? In a month's time?
In about 6 weeks, one of these boys will be coming up. We'll take 6 of them up into the Arctic with us to be deposited on the ice north of Greenland.
And these boys do what?
They a specialised boy. They are there to track the ice. They move around. We will place them on the ice and leave them, and they'll move around the Arctic Ocean as the ice drifts around, and therefore we'll be able to check how the ice is moving at any particular time of the day.
And I take it that when the ice actually melts, which it probably will, they will float.
That's right. They're totally sealed. So as soon as the ice retreats and melts, then these will be in the open water, and then as the ice forms again the following winter, they'll incorporate into the sea ice and continue moving around.
So once you deploy them, you're going to leave them out there?
That's right. They have a power supply in them. The batteries down here, you can see down below here, and solar panels, and there's just enough power to see them through the winter with the batteries, and then as the sun comes up in the summer, the solar panels charge the batteries up again, and the whole cycle recycles itself.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
That's so neat. How do you track these?
Well, these are a very, very neat piece of kit. They have an actual, almost like what you call a satellite phone on board.
Yeah.
And every 20 minutes we set them up, but we can have any interval. They'll send back to us the temperature of the air and the water, and also their GPS location. So therefore we'll check it. Every time we get a location, we'll know exactly where it is. And that location is then we put onto a Google Earth link, and therefore anyone in the world can actually log onto Google Earth and then track our boys.
This. I am going to be up all night. So can anyone go on Google Earth?
Absolutely. These boys will be deployed by the beginning of May. These boys will be out, and there'll be a link available on the SAMS website where you can download the file for Google Earth and then just look at the boys and as they drift around. It's quite addictive. Every day you all log on and you'll see the boys moving in a different area of the Arctic.
I know. I can see just what this is going to be like. Liz Cook, you're a marine biology lecturer here.
Yes.
And we've had some very interesting conversations about sea squirts.
Oh, yes.
Tell us about those. What are they?
Well, the way I've been describing it really is that if you pinch them between your fingers, your thumb and your first finger, they'll actually squirt water out at you. They've got two little openings where water goes in and water comes out, so that's one way of telling them apart from most other things. So you squeeze them tight and squirt water at you.
Is that a propulsion? Do they move by squirting water?
No, they usually attach to the rocks and things like that, so it's a way in which because they're filter feeders, so they suck water in and then actually filter it through a mesh kind of bag which they have inside their bodies, and then they squirt the water out minus all the food particles which they've extracted from it. So they're very efficient.
And they're an alien species, yes?
Well, some of them are, yeah. We have one that is called Styella clava, or the club sea squirt.
Good name.
It's good, isn't it? And that's actually found in a couple of marinas in the Clyde Sea itself, which we've found. But that doesn't cause too much harm. But there's another one that I really like to raise to everyone's attention, which is called, it's called Didenum, which is a bit of a mouthful. Didenum. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's going sort of, it looks like the gloopy. We call it now the gloopy sea squirt or something like that. Or snotty. Well, I don't know how to tell you, the snotty or gloopy. But it can just hang down, sort of forming these sort of gloopy tendrils, which can be sort of like a metre and a half in length. Mm-hmm. And this is something that can overgrow aquaculture structures. It can also overgrow the seabed as well.
So it can do for mussels and scallops?
Well, that's the thing. It's been found in the States and out in Canada, actually overgrowing the shells of the mussels, oysters, things like that. And it doesn't smother them. But what it does is when you bring it out of the water, you try to like hose off and clean off your mussels, and you can't get it all off. It's very difficult to take off. Yeah. And then, of course, you leave it out in the air, or take them to market, and it dies and starts to smell really bad.
So it's spoiling. Is a little difficult.
So it's spoiling your product.
Yeah.
And they recently found it. Well, it's been found in Ireland, in a couple of marinas in Ireland. It was found last summer in Holyhead Marina in North Wales. They went in there really hard, divers, everything, and they managed to clear it, they think, from Holyhead. But I really do think the way other invasive species, other non-natives are spreading northwards,
yes, that we're going to get.
It is going to get here, and I really, really want to sort of raise awareness about this snotty tunicate, yes, or snotty sea squirt, rather. That's the other word for it, that is likely to be here, and just to sort of like say to everyone, can you please look out for it?
If you see this,
and
tell
if
us.
you see it, please contact us, and we'll go and go.